We are next to the Hospital de San Marcos, and this is where the Camino de El Salvador begins, the route that leads to Oviedo Cathedral. This is the route taken by pilgrims who follow the medieval saying that whoever goes to Santiago and not to El Salvador visits the servant and not the Lord. But not us today. We are going to take the French route, covering an important stage between León and Hospital de Órbigo, no less than 35 kilometers with two variants. We will gather all the information in this video to discover this stage. Let's begin. To leave León, we pass by the Hospital de San Marcos, which is now a Parador hotel. We cross the Bernesga River over the San Marcos Bridge and continue straight ahead for a good stretch. We continue along various avenues until we reach some footbridges over the train tracks. Always pay attention to the yellow arrows and the Jacobean signs, which tend to be more inconspicuous in large cities. We enter the town of Trobajo del Camino, passing by the Chapel of Santiago. On an increasingly steep climb, we leave the city behind us and pass through an area of curious underground wine cellars, first through a residential area and then between warehouses and workshops until we reach the entrance to the town of La Virgen del Camino. On leaving this town, we come to the Marian shrine of La Virgen del Camino. It is a rationalist building that replaced a smaller sanctuary and stands on the spot where the Virgin appeared to the shepherd Alvar Simón. We arrive at the exit of Virgen del Camino and come to an important fork in the stage. We can continue straight ahead along the path parallel to the main road, which is 3 kilometers shorter, or take the alternative route along secondary roads and paths. We will now take the first variant. A little further on we pass under the motorway, take a dirt track and then cross the Valverde de la Virgen Industrial estate. In this town we will see the church of Santa Engracia, populated by its characteristic stork nests. Then we cross San Miguel del Camino on the same National Road 120. We are about to advance through a stretch of moorland with gentle undulations for almost 8 kilometers, always running along the side of the National Road. Finally, we arrive at Villadangos del Páramo, where we cross the road with great caution. We have come along the footpath parallel to the road and stop here, next to the hostel, to take a break. It is also a good place to stay, as we are 21 kilometers from the end, and also from San Martín del Camino, which is 26 kilometers from León, but we are going to continue. The plain continues, but as we head west, crops begin to flood both sides of the road, dotted with poplar groves and fed by a network of ditches and canals. We cross San Martín del Camino, which has a wide range of hostels for pilgrims, and tackle another straight stretch of several kilometers that follows the now familiar path along the road. Before reaching some factories, we leave this road on the right and arrive at a picturesque water tank. Next to it, this Camino joins the alternative route that comes from Villar de Mazarif and Villavante, which we will describe below. The southern route approaches the road and enters the small village of Fresno del Camino. After more than 1.5 kilometers on the road, we enter Oncina de Baldoncina. On leaving this village, we take the real Camino that crosses the moor. We continue surrounded by bushes, scattered trees and farmland for 5.5 kilometers. We arrive at the center of Chozas de Abajo, where we return to the road to approach Villar de Mazarif. We have entered the Leonese moorland via secondary roads and tracks. As you can see, it is much quieter than the northern route, although a little longer. In the final section, we have joined the old route of a Roman road. We arrive at Villa de Mazarife, another village with typical adobe and rammed earth architecture, but this one is larger and has hostels and services. It is also a common stopping point for pilgrims, as we are 22 kilometers from León. The Camino leaves here on a provincial road flanked by large expanses of farmland. If we walk, it takes about an hour to cross another provincial road and continue straight ahead on the Camino. We continue to Villavante, which also offers hospitality. We cover the last stretch to the junction with the northern bypass, but not before carefully crossing National Road 120. We reach the junction, and after a few meters, we arrive at Puente de Órbigo, where we cross this tributary of the Esla River via the Paso Hondroso bridge. This bridge was enormous for its time, over 300 meters long. Here, during the holy year of 1434, the Leonese knight Suero de Quiñones, who was in love with a lady, asked the king for permission to hold a joust on this very spot, accompanied by 9 other knights. Thus, for 30 days in July and August, except for the day of Santiago, he broke lances against all those who accepted the challenge of crossing the bridge. After the battles, and after breaking 166 lances, Suero de Quiñones made a pilgrimage to Compostela. Here we end this long stage that we have shown you with its 2 variants. I hope you have enjoyed these villages in León and the last part of the Camino de Santiago that passes through the plateau. Tomorrow we will visit Astorga and enter El Bierzo. Buen camino!